At the moment, there are 4 2-elixir cards in the game: Zap, the Log, Barbarian Barrel, and Snowball. And with the recent buffs and nerfs balancing the Barbarian Barrel, all of the 2-elixir spells are actually now viable. That's right, you might not have even known about this, but Snowball is actually quite meta right now. In fact, it actually has a higher use rate compared to the Log. Hey guys, it's right here, and in today's episode of a detailed analysis, we are going to be comparing each of the 4 2-elixir cards in game, exploring which ones are better for which decks, and also just giving a quick overall guide to using each of these spells. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting off, let's cover the basics. Why are 2-elixir spells so popular? Well, these spells are good for several reasons. The big one is obviously to take out smaller swarm units. With its cost being so low, it can oftentimes result in a positive elixir trade against many cards. Also, pairing it up with any medium spell will be able to take out medium support units. In addition, with its low cost, it makes 2-elixir spells one of the most versatile in the game. Finally, these small spells can also be used to cycle a deck. Again, being at such a cheap elixir cost, it can effectively advance your card rotation by 1 card for just 2 elixir. This makes it a super popular card to use in both cycle and beatdown decks alike. Anyway, now that you understand what each of these 2-elixir cards have in common, let's take a deeper dive into each one. Number 1. The Log. The Log, which has historically been the most dominant 2-elixir spell due to all the bait, is actually now the least used cheap spell. That being said, it still has one of the higher use rates in the game. A big aspect of what makes the Log so great is its area of denial. Obviously, it can one-shot goblins, princesses, rascal girls, and so on, and with a range that is double that of arrows, it can absolutely devastate pushes while dealing that sweet chip damage onto the tower as well. This makes it really effective with cycle decks such as Hog or Expo. In addition, its pushback effect is another biggie for this card. In fact, it's the only card in the game that can push back every other unit in the game. It can also reset charges from the Prince, Battle Ram, Ram Rider, and so on. This makes it a very effective staller on defense, and that means that it'll synergize very well with cards such as Ice Wizard and Electro Dragon, which really utilize that slow effect to be able to maximize its power. However, Log does have 2 pretty big drawbacks. 1, it doesn't kill air units, and 2, it doesn't reset cards such as Sparky and Inferno Dragon. And with Inferno Dragon and Sparky being rather popular in this meta, Log isn't exactly in the best spot. However, if you run some extra air defense and some zapping cards such as E-Wiz, you should be just fine. Snowball. Snowball is actually high-key underrated in this meta, and it's slowly becoming more and more recognized by the Clash community, currently boasting a 20% use rate at the time of recording. Now, the Snowball itself doesn't do that much damage, the exact same as Zap in fact, but there are 2 core components of this card that make it so effective in this meta. The first is a pushback effect. As said before, one big weakness of the Log is its lack of air defense. The Snowball achieves this while retaining that kickback ability for all air units. This makes Snowball a little bit more prevalent in this meta. In addition, due to Log bait itself not being in a great spot, Minion Horde is actually quite popular, especially in mortar bait decks. Lava Hound is also super effective and popular in this current meta, and obviously Snowball does very well against these cards. In addition, the Snowball's slow effect is super clutch as well. By slowing down an entire push for 2.5 seconds, it can be very effective in beatdown, control, or graveyard. 3 archetypes that require positive elixir traits on defense to gain an elixir advantage. Now, one weakness for this card is its lower damage and the fact that it isn't able to reset cards such as Sparky and Inferno Tower. Zap. Oh boy, the original 2-elixir spell in Clash Royale still boasting an insanely high use rate and win rate in game. Now, the big thing about the Zap is its 0.5 second stun. This means that, yes, unlike any other 2-elixir spell, it can reset both the Infernos, Sparky, and all other dashing units. This makes the Zap a popular card to run in beatdown based decks. The ability to reset an Inferno can be absolutely crucial to breaking through your opponent's defense. In addition, with the increase of troops such as Minion Horde, Minions, and Bats in the bait meta, Zap just fares slightly better against the grounded Log. Also, with the stun, it's also one of the few cards that can retarget a unit. This creates synergies with cards such as Miner, which can cause the tower to retarget onto it, allowing your offensive push to wreak havoc. Now the final part about Zap that makes it so good is the fact that it is instant. In fact, it is one of the only instant spells in the game. That's right, no travel time, baby. You tap it and it'll instantly deliver. This is why Zap synergizes so well in rush decks such as P.E.K.K.A. Control and Ram Rider decks. When you have that fast charging unit barreling to the tower, it can be much more effective to use a Zap to take care of any small swarms. Now the weakness to this spell is its small range and its low DPS. I mean, it can't even kill goblins. Barbarian Barrel. Haha, this card, with buff after buff after buff, is now the highest use rate 2 elixir spell in the game. Why is this? Well, first things first, the Barbarian Barrel shares several qualities of the Log, mainly in its area denial. This makes it a really good sub for the Log, being able to take out everything that a Log can. Now, although its range is quite short, that distance discrepancy is obviously caught up by that Barbarian that pops out at the end of its roll. This makes the Barbarian Barrel actually a very viable way to take out medium health units, the only 2 elixir spell to be able to do so. Time it right, and that Barbarian's gonna go all crazy on a troop and take him out. This can be insanely useful on big defensive pushes, with that Barbarian rolling right through the tank to work onto the support. In fact, this ability to take out both swarms and support units makes it one of the most versatile 2 elixir cards in the game, being able to fit in seemingly every single archetype in Clash Royale. Now the weakness of the barrel is obviously that it can't hit air or reset any charge from the Infernos or charging units. So decks that run Bar Barrel usually have ways to cover those weaknesses, may that be more air defense or zapping cards to stop charging. So there we go, the 4 small spells in Clash Royale and the strengths and weaknesses of each of them. Now, if I were to actually rank the 4 of them, it would probably be Log at number 4, Snowball at number 3, Zap just barely edging out the Snowball at number 2, and Barbarian Barrel at a distinctive number 1. Its versatility, like I said, is just something unmatched by anything else in the game. Now also, keep in mind that running multiple of these small spells is another perfectly good option. When comboing Zap and Log, for example, each spell covers for the other spell's weaknesses. What the Log lacks in air defense, the Zap can handle, and what the Zap lacks in DPS, the Log can take care of. But unfortunately guys, that's all I've got time for in today's video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like down below as well as a subscription to my channel. And as always, this is Legendaray, and I'm signing off. See you guys next time.